Welcome to our channel, everyone. Today we'll talk about the jackal. Let's see if it's as cowardly as we're used to thinking. We'll also see how it hunts. Get comfortable, we're about to get started. I never thought that a jackal would dare hunt such a large bird. However, it managed to grab it by the neck, and no matter how hard the stork tried to break free, the jackal firmly held on to the prey in its teeth. Despite all the efforts of the feathered animal, the jackal still won. What could be better than eating a seal for lunch? After all, 25% of the seal's weight is subcutaneous fat. When it senses danger, the seal can defend itself on land, or it can quickly hide from danger in the water. However, the sly predator rolled in the sand to get rid of its pungent smell and thus managed to get close to the prey. And of course, a baby seal is rather easy to hunt. And here the jackal clearly overestimated its strengths. The wildebeest is too tough of a prey for it. The jackal chose a wildebeest calf for its prey, but it still wasn't strong enough to hunt it. There was nothing left for the jackal to do but retreat. Meanwhile, hunting a newborn calf is easy for a jackal. This jackal is probably very hungry, since it decided to attack a porcupine. After all, most predators try to stay away from this animal. Sure, it's prey, but hunting this prey involves having spines stuck into the predator's paws and muzzle, and that's very painful. Taking prey from someone else is one of the jackal's favorite crafts, and here's a perfect example. The honey badger has caught a large python and is already participating in a good dinner, but it looks like the jackal also has plans for this prey. The honey badger wanted to drag and hide the prey, but the jackal got some help. Not only did the honey badger have to hunt the python, but now it has to fight the jackals for it. Despite its small size, the honey badger is famous for its ferocity and fearlessness, so it's hard to tell whether the jackals would be able to take its prey, even with all their stubbornness. This footage shows how a pair of jackals decided to chase a gazelle. As you can see, carrion doesn't hold a predominant place in the jackal's diet, as is commonly believed. It turns out that jackals are quite skillful, brave, and persistent hunters. And these shots show the jackal trying to steal prey from a hyena. Of course, a single jackal wouldn't dare go against a hyena, but if there are two of them, or even better, a group of jackals, they would definitely have a significant advantage. The jackal is great at hunting birds. Birds nesting on the ground are especially easy prey. They deftly sneak up to the victim and instantly grab it. The jackal can even jump high enough to grab the bird aerially in the air. Here's another victim of the jackal, the flamingo. The jackal grabbed the bird just as it was about to take off. When hunting large birds, the jackal tries to damage the bird's wing. That's a great tactic, since the bird won't be able to rise into the air with the broken wing, and will thus become an easy prey for the jackal. Bird hunting requires great dexterity, and the jackal is very good at it. Another attempt to feed on an antelope. The calf is obviously the main target of the jackals, since it is a way more realistic goal. Just look how desperately the mother tries to protect her calf, and if the jackal had been alone, she would have certainly been able to fight it off. But unfortunately, there were several jackals, and while the mother is fighting off one of them, the others get close to the calf. Unfortunately, despite all her best efforts, the antelope is unable to fight off the group of jackals. The jackal's hunting tactic is to sneak up on the victim and grab it instantly. So there's no need to waste time on tracking down the victim, ambushing it, and the pursuit. The most important thing is to be in the right place at the right time. And here's another hunting tactic for a couple of jackals. Working together, they drive the prey towards each other, thus creating a trap. And that's what happened to this gazelle. Sure, the jackals did have to run quite a bit, but they did get the prey in the end. The jackal is an almost omnivorous animal. It feeds mainly at night. The jackal hunts for a wide variety of small animals and birds, as well as lizards, snakes, frogs, snails. It also eats a lot of insects, beetles, grasshoppers, various larvae. The jackals love to roam near ponds, where they can find dead fish. During harsh winters, when the water in the reservoir freezes, the jackal preys mainly on wintering waterfowl. Having found the carcass of a large animal, the jackals often gather in groups and eat carrion together with flying vultures. The jackal eats mainly fruit and berries, including grapes, watermelons, melons, plant bulbs, wild sugarcane roots, and berries. The jackals often hunt alone, less often in pairs, and rarely in small groups. The jackal is a highly developed animal. It isn't only smart and cunning, but also very dexterous and agile. The jackal conducts hunting search, trotting around, often stopping to sniff and listen. If there are large predators around, the jackal follows them to take advantage of the remains of their prey, snatching scraps from right under their noses. The jackals are sedentary animals. They don't make seasonal migrations. However, sometimes they go far from their territory in search of prey. They can also come to the areas where there's been a massive loss of livestock and wild ungulates to feed on carrion. The jackals are cunning and impotent. The jackal's attacks on poultry houses and barns can be so audacious that they can even take the lead from the foxes in this regard. However, the jackals aren't aggressive enough to imitate an attack on a person, and therefore the inconvenience that people suffer from these animals isn't enough for public campaigns against them. The jackals mate for life, and the males take an active part in arranging the whole and raising the offspring. They are very noisy and vocal animals. Before going hunting, the animal emits a loud howl, similar to a high-pitched, whiny cry, which is immediately picked up by all other individuals that are nearby. They also howl on other occasions, for example, when bells ring, at the sound of a siren, etc. Moreover, the jackals always scream on the run. Any medium and large predators can be dangerous for them. Encountering a wolf, where its range intersects with the jackal's, doesn't usually end well for the jackal. It often becomes the wolf's lunch. If the jackals come close to a village, they can also be attacked by domestic dogs. If there are many jackals near a village, farmers end up suffering greatly. The jackals can cause great damage to gardens and plantations, eating sugarcane, melons, watermelons, and grapes. They love sweet fruit and usually choose the ripest among them, while spoiling many unripe ones which they taste and leave behind. The jackal holds an important place in folklore. It is a popular character in Indian fairy tales, in which it usually appears as a cowardly but clever culprit who cheats everyone it comes across. In many places in North and West Africa, the jackal is respected for its cunning and quick wits. In ancient Egypt, the jackal was one of the most revered animals. The supposed god Anubis was depicted with the head of a jackal. Among many peoples, the jackal's reputation is rather negative, although it's not as bad as that of a hyena. Thus, in the Middle East, the jackal is associated with petty ingratiation and sycophancy. The main reason for such a reputation is the jackal's habits of picking up the remnants of the meal of large predators, following them until they get the prey and are done feeding on it. It also personifies cowardice and meanness. Therefore, it's said that in these countries, the words jackal, son of a jackal, daughter of a jackal are considered to be offensive. The Romans called the jackal the golden wolf, hence its Latin name, aureus, that is, golden. Despite the fact that jackals often eat carrion together with vultures, competition for prey often arises between them. And given that the jackal often hunts alone, it can't really compete with those flying scavengers and is often forced to give way. Ravens are also scavengers, and they also compete with jackals for prey. Moreover, they are in no way inferior to jackals in arrogance, agility, and cunning. But when a white-tailed eagle, a predator from the hawk family, claims the prey, the jackal retreats without hesitation. That's all for today. Like the video if you found it interesting, and be sure to subscribe to our channel to keep track of the new episodes.